Hello, welcome you guys. Normally this video is a live stream recap where I've gone live on Twitch and shared the forecast for the upcoming week, but this is pre-recorded because I'm going to be out of town, so drop a comment below if you miss me live streaming because it's kind of fun. Comment below. But I now go live on Twitch and TikTok every Sunday, normally at 4 p.m. PST, so definitely use the links in the description to follow me on those platforms so you can catch me when it goes live. But if you don't, subscribe here because I repost the recap here so that you can see me talk about it, and it's a little bit more laid back. We're going to use today's video to kind of just dive in. I'm going to do it similar style as my live stream, so it's going to be free-flowing, talking about the astrology that's coming up for the week ahead. We got a lot going on this week, I'm not going to lie. So before we jump into it, make sure that you are subscribed. I know I already said that, but reminding you again because we're working on this platform, we're growing, evolving, and I would love to have you guys along on that journey. I also have natal chart readings available if you're interested in diving deeper. All my offerings are going to be listed below, so definitely look at that. And fun little surprise is my one-on-one coaching is available now, so use the link in my description to fill out a form to see if you want to work with me. Okay, anyways, let's talk about this week ahead. I got dual monitors here. I got a lot going on. You're going to see me looking all over the screen to look at things. But before we jump to look at the chart, I'm going to just go through the different transits that are happening. Also, I feel like a movie star with this fan blowing on me, but it's hot. Literally, my computer says heat advisory in effect because it's hot. So I'm actually going to be talking about the Sunday that this is posted because I didn't dive deep into this on my last live stream and it deserves a moment. So on Sunday, the 20th, when this goes live, Mars and the South Node are going to be conjunct. And I really want to dive into that and talk a bit deeper about what that means for us as a collective. And then no transits happening on Monday. And remember, when I'm talking about these transits, I'm talking about their exact moment that they come in connection. So there's always a build up and then a, coming down from that peak. So, and planets go retrograde. So you might feel the back and forth and whatnot with those things. So on the 22nd, the sun moves into Leo. So Leo season starts officially, which is really exciting. So definitely check out where Leo is in your natal chart to see how this 30-day period is going to be illuminating you. On that 22nd, we also have the sun sextile Uranus in Gemini. We have on Wednesday, the 23rd, Venus squaring Mars. Then the 24th is a big day. I'm going to have an entirely separate video for this day specifically, but we'll briefly cover what that looks like. The video should already be out by the time this is posted on the new moon in Leo. Okay, so after this video, definitely go check it out. It should be linked below, or you can just go through my YouTube platform and find it. So on the 24th, the sun will square Saturn. Saturn just went retrograde, and the sun will also be squaring. Why am I saying squaring? It's so funny. I said that too earlier. They're not squaring, they're trining. The sun is trine Saturn and Neptune, and they are both retrograde in Aries. Okay, then we have a new moon in Leo, and that new moon in Leo is opposing Pluto. That's a whole moment, and it's going to have its own video. As always, new and full moons have their own separate videos so that we can get a little bit deeper into what that means and how it's affecting you personally based off your rising sign and which house it's falling into for you guys. And then nothing else happening as far as those transits go. Yeah, so whew. Okay, let's go ahead and take a peek at the 20th. I'm going to jump over here to this. All right, so you can tell we are looking at the 20th here, and I am specifically looking at the South Node and Mars conjunction. So The North and South Node, if you're not familiar with yet, they are just mathematical equations that show us where the eclipses are happening. So this is showing us that we're working on a specific 1.5-year cycle where the North Node in Pisces is really asking us to lean into our deeper beliefs, hope, spirituality, surrender, and let go of perfectionism. Sorry, my cat's attacking a fly. And when Mars comes into conjunction with the South Node, this is having us look at old patterns that Mars in Virgo can bring up. So South Node always represents the part of us that is most comfortable. It's kind of rooted in a specific modality and way that we've navigated this specific area of our life. And South Node in Virgo really speaks to the way that we believe that things should be done. It's very perfectionistic. It's very rooted in specific methods and methodology that you have to follow through. So when we take Mars, our warrior, our drive, our will to get things done, and have it connect here, it's having us look at old patterns of effort. So these patterns are being reactivated. So also, if you see me looking off to the side, my face is over here. I got a bunch of stuff all right here. I feel like I should preface that. So let's check to see if, like, is my face centered? Anyways, this transit can highlight burnout loops, right? Mars and Virgo will just keep going and going and going and going because they have this deep desire to make sure everything's perfect, right? This can also bring up ancestral or habitual patterns of doing too much or believing that you're only valuable if you're useful, right? This is can bring up especially like where you've tried to fix things through perfectionism, through overanalysis, through people pleasing. This can feel like a crossroad of like sacred anger and over functioning. So this is sort of the invitation of this transit is, where are you ready to cut the cord from inherited habits or, you know, overcorrection or control disguised as care, right? Sometimes there's a sort of notion or idea that, you know, I just care so deeply. I care. And is that caring from a place of like trusting, or is it because you don't believe that that person can, you know, show up for themselves? It kind of gives me like the idea of worry. When we worry too much about people, it means we inherently believe that they're not capable of following through with those things. So like if you're worried that, you know, your kid can't drive a car, it's because you're believing that, you know, they're not capable of actually doing it. And so where are you showing up to make sure that like they are prepped and ready and whatnot? At a certain level, you have to trust that people can do what they can do. Virgo tends to, it's the gateway sign. It's a mind, body, spirit alignment. And it really is bringing in this sort of level of like looking outside of yourself a little bit. And Mars here is like kind of wanting to make sure that external circumstances are like people's needs are being met and that like you're playing the specific role. So definitely look at your old patterns in perfectionism, in needing to be the one who has all the answers, or where you have to overanalyze things to make sure that you don't make a mistake. This is our opportunity to really look at like stepping away from patterns that just keep us stuck in this loop of overcomplicating things and over perfectionism, like really, really allowing us to surrender. Again, North Node and Pisces is really calling us forward to surrender into a deeper level of trust in spirit, in God, whatever that form takes for you, but it really is that trusting, right? So that's happening this Sunday. You know, normally I don't go back and touch on it, but I really wanted to dive a little bit deeper into it for you guys. So deep breaths there, like genuinely have a lot of compassion for yourself. as these things surface, because they will probably surface, and you're just getting the opportunity to look closer at your patterns, right? So moving ahead, we are going to jump forward to when the sun enters Leo. So the sun right here is at 0 degrees of Leo, which marks the start of Leo season, which this is exciting. So if you guys didn't know, something really cool about people who have the sun in Leo or Leo season is that it's ruled by itself, right? The sun is at home in the sign of Leo. So this is pretty nice. It's always very illuminating and exciting for most people, unless you're me and you have a Virgo rising and it's in your 12th house and you have no idea what's happening. It's just me. That's a me thing. Anyways, so Leo season begins, and it really brings in this invitation of ego expression around inner child, inner radiance, creative identity. Something to keep in mind here, though, as the sun enters Leo is the fact that Mercury is retrograde in Leo right now. And so there's kind of this interesting reflection that's happening at this time. Additionally, we have happening the same day, the sun, as it moves forward into Leo, is going to make a sextile to Uranus, right? Uranus just entered Gemini. I have a full video on that. If you haven't checked that out, definitely encourage you guys to go look at that. So the sextile to Uranus really brings in this playful innovation and unexpected conversations, bold self-expression that can feel really liberating and not performative. It really brings in this like spark of just excitement. So I can feel that even as Leo season starts, it can definitely feel like more fuel to the fire a little bit. So if that moment of the South Node and Mars conjunction is still at its tail end here, but like that feeling of it being present, this can definitely bring in more of an ego reflection and connection to expand this. So this feels really, really good. And I definitely want to invite you guys to be looking at how can joy be an act of like going against the status quo, because this feels really good as I'm settling into the energy. There's this thing about Uranus and Gemini that is really asking for like radical curiosity and authenticity, and the sun moving into Leo and it's creating this sextile. It's kind of like bringing this energy to dare to just fully be you. Like, what if your joy can be an act of reclamation, of knowing that your joy is sacred? That's a thing that Sun and Leo really brings in, is like, we are meant to enjoy life and to let our inner fire be seen and illuminated. Again, reminding you guys that Mercury is retrograde right now. So that might be more of a reflection of like, it's bringing in the reflection of removing the masks and recognizing what things are false performances. But this is really a fun, exciting start to Leo season, right? Okay. It's so funny. I'm so used to live streaming this, and so I want to sit and ask you guys questions. So if anything pops up in your mind as I'm going through these things, please comment them below, because I really, really do have the desire to like connect with you guys. So I'll definitely be answering questions below, so that you guys can... I love live streaming because I love connecting directly with you guys. And so always doing these recordings, I'm like, where's all my friends? So shout out to those of you who are following me on Twitch. I appreciate you guys so deeply for showing up every Sunday with me. So special shout out to you guys. I know you know who you are, but I love you guys so much. So let's go ahead and jump ahead to the 23rd. I can talk, and I'm not even going to cut any of this out. I love just being raw and authentic with you guys. We're humans. I'm not going to edit this. We're just going to full send. So on the 23rd, we have Venus in Gemini will now be squaring Mars in Virgo. Tension points. Squares are 90-degree angles that bring in a level of tension. So Mars in Virgo has been really all about like making sure your body and mind are all in alignment, and Venus in Gemini has been allowing a lot of mental curiosity within the realm of relationships. So this can really bring in a kind of head versus body tension, what we desire. Sorry, my cat is attacking a fly in the screen. That's funny. Yeah, it's kind of like that little curious fly, and then we've got this little crazy cat. Okay, anyways, I can make analogies out of anything. I think that's a gift of mine. So this is really bringing in what we desire intellectually, may clash with what feels grounded and sustainable, right? So there's this sort of like, maybe your mind is really playing into fantasy at this time, or just really like running on ideas. And Mars in Virgo, especially after going over the South Node, is like really looking at things from a grounded point. I want to remind you guys that neither one of these expressions are right or wrong. They just are. And so you're just feeling that tension. And I'm feeling a little bit of headache on the left side of my head here, and that's the feminine. And it's like Venus in Gemini, it's a weird expression because it's like really brings it up into the like head, and Venus tends to be more embodied, so it creates this different energy of Venus where it's more, I more just see her like chatting about things and like wanting to talk and wanting to connect as a way of devotion. And this Mars in Virgo really wants devotion in the form of practical day-to-day application. So there can be frictions in communication. Romantic overthinking is present here. Maybe the pace of things, especially in relationships, might feel a little off, where maybe your minds are like, I really, really want to go forward with this. This makes sense in my mind, but the physical applicable realm right now, Mars in Virgo, is not really there yet. So there's a lot of need to like reassure Venus with patience, but she's going 180 miles per hour, truthfully. So Mars in Virgo tends to want to like fix things and like make things work. It's like I see like Lincoln Logs like setting, it's like wait, and Venus in Gemini is just like already on to like the next thing because she's just yapping about stuff. I just see like the little memes of like somebody yapping, and it's like stoic boyfriend versus like yapping girlfriend. That's kind of the vibe here. You know, this can feel like debating a path forward when both logic and impulse are really, really loud right now. So there's an invitation to just slow down. Slow down. It's okay. You guys don't have to have the answers right now with wherever this is landing in your life. So, you know, can you both let your curiosity and discernment have a voice without letting either of them dominate? Like, invite both to the table and sit with them and just see how it feels. And again, you don't have to have a solution right now. Okay? Cool. Jumping forward to the 24th. Sorry, just screamed in your guys' ears. The 24th is a pretty significant day, and I'm going to go back a couple of hours so we can see that exact moment of the moon, and we're watching the moon here as I go back. Conjunct the sun at 2 degrees of Leo. Again, I have a new moon in Leo video live by the time this video is out, so go ahead and check that out after this to get more details. But I want to bring in like all the different things that are happening. So there's multiple things happening on this day. So obviously the sun and the moon are conjunct, which means it's a new moon. Yay! I don't know why I just heard like Miss Rachel in my head. Yay. Okay. I have nieces. That's why. So with this happening, we also have Saturn here, Saturn and Neptune are making a sextile. Not sextile. Goodness, I keep saying the wrong thing. So this is a trine. It's a triangle. It's a trine. So that's a 60-degree angle. 60? No. Yeah? Yeah. Not 30. 60. I can do math. It's so funny. Astrology has been like the first thing that's made math make sense in my mind. Super fun. So this new moon in Leo is really, really potent. And again, I'm not going to dive too deep into it because you guys can go watch my other video. But really, this is like a soul responsible new moon. You know, Leo's desire for authentic expression is anchored by Saturn's call to accountability and Neptune's invitation to deeper meaning. So, you know, all of this is playing together. And these guys are retrograde. So again, this is bringing this level of reflection in. Okay, and Mercury retrograde's ruled by the sun in Leo. So, you know, this moon asks, like, what are you building that reflects the truest version of you? Again, I spoke on this Mercury retrograde, which was about like removing the false identities and really reflecting on like who you are. This new moon just amplifies that energy. You know, this is really bringing in that truest version of you that's not shaped by external validation. Leo really lives to be seen at a certain level, but what is the point of being seen if you are being seen as a false version of you? Sit with that for a second. And so there's a lot of like that can bring in some like scary feelings a little bit, especially if you're undergoing the process of like actually looking at your identity and who you want to be and how you want to show up. It's like, okay, who am I? So just use this as a grounding opportunity. The Saturn retrograde in Aries definitely is showing us how to bring in a level of reflection on our structures and that identity that was built up from childhood. This definitely feels like structure that is, again, this is kind of being, this is so interesting. Bear with me as I feel into this. And I love just being present with these feelings because there's a lot going on here. Because, yeah, before I even talk about this trine happening here, this opposition to Pluto is really just amplifying that authenticity lens. Like, Pluto here, I just saw like the Death Star in my mind's eye. It's that level of like, I just see it destroying the entire planet that you've built of what you thought was your identity, and it just being completely dismantled. This is a deep undercurrent of tension that's here. Like, this brings in your truths about power, identity, authenticity that are coming up, because Pluto in Aquarius is really this death and rebirth moment within our authentic identity. Aquarius energy, they don't give a fuck of like what people think of them. They are eccentric. They are strange and quirky. And this Pluto in Aquarius is really bringing those parts of ourselves. Like, who would you be if nobody's watching? Who is that? And guess what? There are people that want that part of you. Actually deeply, deeply crave that part of you, right? You know, this is a moment of personal will, of like letting go of the need to fit into the collective molds that have made you you. This false version of you. This is deeply, deeply humbling for Leo energy. Deeply humbling. And then we have this trine to Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Aries. And this feels like the supportive integration of the structures we want to build, because they're being destroyed. And so with these retrogrades, it's looking at what has come the last few months of Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries, like the beginning part of building those structures. And now we're going through this reflection process as it's retrograding, which is really inviting us to reflect on, okay, has this worked so far? Where else am I? Because it feels like for a lot of you with this energy, it's like you've been discovering parts of yourself that feel very, very true, but they just have not yet been shared with other people in your reality, especially the people who maybe were there to mold you. So that can be like childhood friends, parents, grandparents. And so there really is this feeling of like not being able to fake it anymore. I totally just watched K-pop Demon Hunters the other day. It feels really present. Like you can't guys, you cannot hide who you are. You can't live this like double life because it's tearing you apart on the inside, is this feeling. So this new moon is the opportunity to like really sit with that. Okay. Yeah, what a week this week is. It's really giving us the opportunity to just like bear it all and witness it all. So, y'all, welcome here. What a week. Again, definitely watch my new moon video because I'm going to go way deeper in that than I did here. But again, I wanted to pull in all those pieces that are present during this new moon. As I sit with the feeling of this week, I want to invite you guys to remember that there are people out there who are waiting for you to be you. And not like, oh, they're waiting on you. It's this realization that your authenticity and who you are and who you are becoming is needed in this world. And we're really getting the opportunity to start building those lasting foundations that will support that person that you are becoming. So that in-between process that we all are in at a collective level, like truly, we are all like in this interesting metamorphosis of unfolding, of opening up, of dismantling old foundations. So let that happen. Let it be. Like let yourself be uncomfortable so you can get comfortable again and know that it is temporary. Okay? I love you guys so much. Again, my one-on-one mentor sessions are opening. You have to fill out a form. I'm not going to say you have to. You get to fill out a form so I can understand more deeply how I can best support you. And then I will pass on how to connect with me from there. So if you're feeling called, definitely fill out that form. Everything I have is linked below. Natal chart readings are open. And also, eclipse season is coming up, y'all. Mid-September, September 7th and September 23rd, 4th are those eclipse days. So that 2-week period will be our eclipse portal, and it's going down, y'all. So if you want more insights on how the eclipse season is going to be affecting you more deeply, I have specific readings just for that, those transit readings. So you can grab those below as well. Other than that, I'm so deeply grateful for those of you who are present with me in this journey on this platform. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I definitely want to invite you guys to subscribe to be able to stay connected with me on this platform. All right. I love you guys.